This is a problem that I was asked when I was back in the middle school. And this is a rapid fire kind of puzzle question that someone asked me that I had to answer, right on spot, without giving myself a lot of time to think. So the question is, if 5 cats eat 5 mice in 5 days, in how many days will 6 cats eat 6 mice? And the instinctive answer to this question, if you are being asked it in a rapid fire quiz, would be to say 6 days, because 5 cats eat 5 mice in 5 days, 6 cats will eat 6 mice in 6 days. Well, so this question is, of course, a trick question, but at the same time, I hope that I'll be able to use this to demonstrate the concept of proportionality and how that will work in this case. So that's the reason I'm making this video, with the objective of giving a lesson on how to use the concepts in proportionality in arithmetic and in mathematics to solve problems. So this question is, of course, answered with an assumption, and that fundamental assumption is that consumption rate of each cat per mouse is the same. So each cat and each mouse is identical, and the consumption rate is also identical. So that's kind of a fundamental underlying assumption. And then this is, one basis of applying proportionality, right? Because whenever we're applying proportionality, we're assuming that things keep on building in the same way or in a proportional way. So let's start with this particular question. So first, let's ask this question: if the number of cats remain the same, but the number of mice increases, then what effect will it have on the number of days D? Well, greater mice means that there's more food supply now. So the number of cats is still the same, but they have more food. And more food will last them longer days. Because with still the same number of cats, right? They still have the same kind of requirement rate. But now they're just having more mice, means more food. And that means that number of days that food will last will be more. So in this case, the number of days will actually increase as we increase the number of mice. Let's ask another question now. And this time we say that if we keep the number of mice the same and if we increase the number of cats, then what happens? Well, if the number of cats increase, but the number of mice remains the same. So that means that we have the same amount of food, but now we have more mouths to feed, right? And so food will end up quicker. The consumption rate will be more, and as a result of that, the number of days the food is going to last is going to be lesser. So as we increase the number of cats, the number of days becomes lesser. It goes down. And so in terms of proportionality, with respect to number of days, we can write number of days is inversely proportional to number of cats. So if the number of cats increase, for the same number of mice, the number of days will decrease. So that's the inverse proportionality. So that's why you see 1 by n cats. And then if we combine these together, when both the number of mice and the number of cats are varying, then the number of days will be proportional to number of mice divided by the number of cats. So we're just putting these two together to obtain this. And then we can assume a relationship like this. So K is our proportionality constant. D is the number of days, N is the number of mice, and N is the number of N cats is the number of cats. And now we can, find out what the value of k is, because we know that when d is equal to 5, n mice is equal to 5, and n cats is equal to 5. So we just substitute that from what has been given in the problem, and we find the value of k, and that comes to be 5. So now we know that what the value of the proportionality constant is. The number of days is related to the number of mice divided by number of cats, as follows. So d is equal to 5 into n mice divided by n cats. So now we can just plug in the number of cats and number of mice the questions ask. In this case, n mice is 6 and n cats is 6. So d becomes 5 into 6 by 6, which is 5. So in how many days will 6 cats eat 6 mice? Assuming that each mouse is identical, and the consumption rate of each cat is also the same, then the number of days in which 6 cats will eat 6 mice is 5. So the number of days doesn't change because we have the same ratio of cats to mice. And without doing all of this, it might be simpler to just say that, well, if the ratio of cats and mice stays the same, then the number of days will stay the same. So if 5 cats eat 5 mice in 5 days, so will 6 cats eat 6 mice in 5 days. And then whatever number of cats and mice, as long as the ratio is the same, if it's 100 cats eat 100 mice, that will be still in 5 days. But I just wanted a more detailed workout here just to demonstrate that using this simple problem, and it's kind of a fun, trick puzzle kind of question, we can illustrate this nice concept of proportionality and just give the lesson on how to think when you're actually solving problems. So this is not so much about solving a quick witty puzzle, but really learning the concept of proportionality and how you can apply it to solve problems in mathematics. Hope this was of interest. Thank you.